Hey, what's going on, everybody? Keith Mumbles in full color. And today, now that E3, the dust has begun to settle, we're seeing things, a lot of information. The bulk of the information is out. I want to go over the big three and talk about things that they do well, things that they do okay, and things that they don't do that well. And also talk about the trajectory of each of the big three, where I see them improving upon and how they take their gaming console to the next plateau. Without further ado, today is all about Microsoft. Back in 1998, there was an idea to bring about a group of special individuals. Alright, we're not going to do that. But back in 1998, a group of guys decided that they wanted to pitch the idea for Microsoft to have its own flagship console. They pitched this idea to Bill Gates. He gave the okay. They went to work. They come back in 2000 with a working model known as the Direct Xbox. This was also coupled with a company they had just bought, you may have heard of them, called Bungie. They just got them for $30 million and showed off a little bit of Halo Combat Evolved. From there, they would take another year working on this, and in 2001, with the help of Dwayne Johnson, that's right, with the help of The Rock, the Xbox Now, instead of Direct Xbox, was introduced to the world.
About you, it's about the new Xbox, and quite frankly, I couldn't be more excited. The Xbox is everything The Rock is, cutting edge, powerful, exhilarating, and like The Rock, it will be the most electrifying thing coming out this year.
Now, November 2001, with the price tag of $299, the Xbox comes out. A little bit of a hefty price tag at this point in time. We'll get into that a little bit later. But it comes out, is a success. Halo shatters records, selling 1 million copies of the game in the first few months. Don't forget, we're in 2001, so this is a feat among feats right now. However, the game console did not do well in overseas market, particularly Japan. Did not break out well in Japan. However, in the States, it actually didn't do too bad. However, too bad was not good enough. They wanted 50 million units sold for their first console. This was too much. Honestly, you want to be ambitious, but at the same time, you don't want to be over ambitious. They set these really high standards, and they will later on feel the ramifications of that. The first ramification was slashing the price from $299 to $199. Like I said, a little bit of a hefty price for a console that's just coming out on the market. You don't know a whole lot about it. You don't really know what games are coming out there. And in fact, Xbox would talk about his Xbox Live subscription. EA was not happy with this, shockingly. And they decided to pull some of their games from the console for 1 year. A year later, they would strike a deal with Microsoft and put their games back on that console. Now, at this point, a lot of people thought the Xbox would be one and done. We wouldn't see it again. However, Halo 2 drops, and Halo 2 sells $125 million in sales, 2.5 million sold. This was nuts at this time. At this time, you gotta remember, this is back in around 04, right? So this is just 04, 05, somewhere in there. This is crazy. This time frame. You have a console that's deemed to be failing, not living up to standards, and then you have a game come out that's only on Xbox just come in and change the game. Pun intended. This game is possibly, arguably, most likely the reason Xbox is still around today. And one of these big reasons is online multiplayer. Xbox shines in this one category, right? Is their online community, just the online infrastructure. It's amazing. It's great. It's zippy. It's fast. You're finding lobbies really well. And also at this time, the communities weren't too bad in terms of the population. So now Halo 2 is coming out. You have all these people playing. You're getting games. And a new way to play has now been introduced. Like this, multiplayer existed before, right? You had the Dreamcast with Phantasy Star Online. But then you had this beast of a game, and it's fun, it's immersive, it's Halo. Halo fanboys were birthed out of this. I mean, this really is where Microsoft would then go on to make the 360. I mean, this is kind of like the platform for it. We just put out Halo 2. We need to keep putting out more consoles. Like, with this game, we can sell. And that's what they would go on to do. They put out the Xbox 360. They came out a year early. They came out before the PlayStation. They decided, hey, let's try to get out there. Let's try to get some units out before the rest of the competition comes into the fray. They do that. They do well. Marred by the red ring of death. However, that doesn't really stop them all that much, but does put a hindrance on them. They sell well with the Xbox 360. It does very well. We have Gears. We have Halo. Because they came out a year early, a lot of games come out on this platform. Devil May Cry 4 being one of them. Some of the Soul Calibur games that were missing from the PlayStation arsenal at this time. You had the Kinect that will come out later on that will boost sales, and everybody was on that wave, the motion sensor wave. So all is looking well for Xbox at this time. Now, towards the end of the Xbox 360's lifespan, it would be overtaken by PlayStation as the best-selling console in that generation. However, for the majority of that console's life cycle, it was top dog. Xbox Live, like I just said a moment ago, amazing through and through. I mean, that thing, zippy, great. It just was great. I can't even put into words what it was. Great online. That was a word for it. Although you had to pay for it, still very solid. I mean, just amazing. Not solid, it's amazing. Okay, talking in circles. Let's continue. Xbox One comes out, and this is where the issue arises. All right, so to recap really fast, what they do really good is they're online. Very zippy, very great. What they do really good is their interface. The interface works really well with everything. Awesome, very user-friendly, user-intuitive. Can't speak much more about that than that. The issue arises is because, well, you didn't have that many exclusives. You didn't really have too much to carry you through. As you may have heard Roger say on our podcast, be sure to check that out. Software sells hardware. You need one to have the other, but for the most part, software is the more important of the two. So if there's only Halo and I'm only getting a Halo every now and again, and at some point Halos began to take a little dip in quality. So what else do we have? We had Gears, we have Forza, we have games, but we don't have many. And this led to the inability to push units out as they wished. Let me just give you a few quick stats really fast. Now, the original Xbox sold 24 million. Like I said, they were looking for 50, did not hit that mark. The 360 sold 77.2 million. Great turnaround for your sequel console. We now come to the One X right now, which is at 26 million. It's probably a little bit more. I think it might be roughly in the 40s right about now as we're talking. The best-selling games on the Xbox was Halo 2 at 8 million. On the 360, there's the Kinect bundle. However, I don't like to count bundles. I want to talk about an actual game. So the next closest thing that's not a bundle on the 360 was Modern Warfare 3 at 14.3 million. And then on the One X, the current highest selling game is Black Ops 3 at 7.2 million. Like I said, software is selling consoles, and the one thing that is glaring here is the only flagship game that took home the cake was Halo 2 back in the original Xbox days. Even on the 360, it wasn't Halo 3 with the Master War, or with the, the Master Chief collection, or any of those Halo titles didn't take home for Xbox 360. That speaks back to my comment about Halo games having a bit of a diminish within their quality. So all in all, right now, where do they go from here? How do they get better? Well, it's quite simple, really. You start to put out a lot of exclusives. You start to bring in dev teams that may be looking for a home or just looking to strike up a deal for some stability, okay? So we see Ninja Theory. We see these guys signing deals with Microsoft, but they need to be the right devs and they need to be the right games. That's all there is to it. That's how they get better out of this. you have mastered your Xbox Live, you have mastered your user interface, your controller, very good. A lot of people consider it to be the best controller all around. I think it's only best for shooters and racing games. I'll get into that in another video. But all in all, I think that from here, they do their best to get some new exclusives, to buy some exclusives from certain dev teams, to go that route, just to have a reason to own an Xbox. Right now, there isn't much reason to own one by way of gaming. Now, if you were talking multimedia, it's not bad, but now that's a peripheral. Okay, a lot of people who have DirecTV and all that, they have remotes, they have all that, so you don't necessarily need an Xbox to do these things. But to recap the great, Xbox has a wonderful internet environment. Amazing. The good, the user interface complements that so well, so seamlessly. The bad, they don't have many games that allow you to enjoy what it can do. They need to have more first-party titles come out and give you a reason to own an Xbox. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned. We talk about Nintendo next. Everybody, as usual, you know the drill. Be blessed. Be easy. Peace.
Match feature lets you easily find players all over the country who like the same games and levels. I got some boys here who'll make you wish you were never born. I've got Arctic Avenger.
Dark Master is in trouble.
Buffalo Soldier.
Oh, Dark Master Man.
.com.
I'm a Dark Master.
And Sleeping Giant.
What? Wake up! Is it my turn?
All right. Let's kick some tail.
Well, I would think that...
It doesn't matter what you think, Bill. I'm sorry, Bill. It's just a force of habit. Rock apologizes.